Hello, Clemson Nation. This is Patrick Driscoll, and welcome back to another edition of On the Prowl, the show where I keep you posted on all things Clemson sports. Baseball recently had a big-time series victory over Florida State. Let's kick things off with them. After dropping the opener against FSU last Thursday, Clemson balled out the remainder of the series. The Bats were hot Friday as they won 8-1. Then Saturday was a 6-2 victory. Freshman pitcher Ethan Darden was lights out Friday by throwing 5 scoreless innings. Florida native Blake Wright and freshman Cam Cannarella were forces offensively all weekend. Lastly, Caden Bryce was back to his two-way dominance yet again. To seal the series victory, he pitched a career-high 6.1 innings and belted a grand slam as well. The Tigers continue their travels with a matchup versus Georgia tonight. First pitch will go down at 7 o'clock. There's always that saying, all good things must come to an end. Unfortunately, softball's historic 29-game home streak was broken. It was a tough series last week, as Clemson was swept by number 6 Florida State. The series finale was an instant classic in the rain. Led by Valerie Cagle's complete game, Clemson came up just short, losing by 1 run. Head coach John Rittman emphasized that, in quote, championships are not given out in April, and how the adversity they face will benefit them in the long run. Clemson now looks to get some redemption against none other than South Carolina. The Palmetto series wraps up in Columbia tonight at 6 p.m. Go get 'em. Men's tennis was back at Duckworth last weekend with 2 huge ACC showdowns. Friday was an absolute nail-biter versus Notre Dame. After dropping doubles, Clemson clawed back to even it up 3-3. While the Tigers fell just short, they sure showed some true grit against the Irish. Sunday afternoon marked another in-conference duel versus Louisville. While the game resulted in a 4-2 loss, Riohei Azuma and Jorge Plans Gonzalez had huge ranked wins for Clemson. In the home finale, lone senior Tim Pitts was honored as well. The Tigers hit the road yet again as they look towards Virginia Friday evening. As for the women, they had another in-conference duel last Saturday, and that was a showdown against number 20 Georgia Tech at Duckworth. Clemson started strong with doubles taking the sweep that included 2 ranked victories. In singles play, Alexandra Antilla kept things going with a victory. That win now keeps her undefeated as she is 6-0 this year. Georgia Tech answered by taking the next 3. Sophia Hatton and Eleni Luca battled valiantly, but the Yellow Jackets kept it up as the final was 5-2. Clemson now has another ACC test this Friday at Duckworth. First serve versus number 14 Miami is set for 3 o'clock. Speaking of tests, women's lacrosse headed up north to take on number 1 Syracuse. While the Tiger offense exploded with 10 goals, it was still not enough to topple the Orange. It was a balanced attack, as 4 separate Tigers tallied 2 goals in the contest. Grad midfielder Bella Martyr dished out 2 assists as well. Goalie Emily Lamparter had a very busy day, facing 40 shots and saving 9 of them. Clemson lacrosse now has 2 regular season games remaining this year. They'll be heading to Virginia Tech Saturday as first draw goes off at noon. From smashing records, taking medals, and hitting lifetime bests, Clemson track has been making noise this whole outdoor season. Last week, I mentioned that it was only a matter of time before we saw Mark Elliott's squad move up in the polls. Today, we found out that the men are now up to number 11. After getting last weekend off, Clemson will be heading back to Florida for the Tom Jones Invitational. The meet will run from Friday to Saturday with plenty of action across the board. Best of luck and keep doing great things. There's a lot going on in Tigertown as well. This weekend is a favorite of many Clemson faithful. Why, you ask? Clemson football is back in action with its annual spring game. Whether it's getting a sneak peek of the new Garrett Riley show or witnessing our dominant defense, you do not want to miss it. Opening kickoff is set for 1 o'clock Saturday. Admission is free to the public, so come out and support. To wrap things up with the Athlete of the Week, Clemson tennis celebrated their lone senior last Sunday. And that senior truly shows what it means to be a Clemson Tiger. Congratulations to Tim Pitts. You are the Athlete of the Week. Tim is a walk-on member of the tennis team after making the roster 4 years ago. His teammates and coaches alike have nothing but positives to say about him, whether it's on or off the court. He is an outstanding leader, role model, and class act. Believe it or not, Tim has played with his younger brother Matt the past 2 years. In January, the brothers actually picked up a win in doubles together against the Citadel. I mean, how special is that? The Greer, South Carolina local is also an amazing athlete and scholar alike. Tim will be attending med school following his graduation from Clemson, which is absolutely remarkable. Congratulations and best of luck in the future. The 16th edition of On the Prowl is now in the books. Whether in Tigertown or not, there will be plenty of action this week, so get excited. Lastly, I am your host Patrick Driscoll, and thank you for tuning in. See you next week.